I gotta figure out a good intro to do, you know? Like, what is up, my gamer bro? No, that's too much. No, that's too much. Hey, guys, sorry that I didn't get this film out, video thingy majobber before this year, but we all know how last year went. Yeah, point taken. So without further ado, enjoy the video. So today I thought talking about letting go would be good, but that'll be another topic for another day since I wanted this to be a bit more thematic. So for now, we'll talk about making realistic goals for yourselves and what makes a great goal. We all set goals for ourselves during New Year's, but most of us falter off by the end of a month or so if we're lucky. Not to mention if we're not, it usually lasts a few hours a day tops. So with it being that time of the year again, I've decided to talk about art goals specifically. So for me, a big art goal I had this year, probably the biggest I've ever had, was getting my comic out by the end of the year. Now, to be fair to myself, I had had this goal for a really long time, and I was pushing myself really hard, but things just didn't seem to be clicking. It always got pushed to the back burner if something else came up, or put on hold if I lost motivation due to a lack of results. So what I found this past year is that nothing was really turning out for me because I didn't have a strong goal in mind. I always just said, when I have 50 pages, then I'll release. But in doing this, my deadlines weren't being met. I was pushing my comic off further and further each time that I felt overwhelmed. It just wasn't a good combination. So finally, I looked at it objectively and said, you know what? I'm going to release it in 2020. That's it. If it doesn't have a 2020 at the end of the release date, then I'm not releasing it at all. Final answer. Keeping in mind that this was December 16th or so that I made this rule up for myself and my deadline was closing in fast. So, as soon as this was part of my goal, I found myself rushing towards the finish at speeds faster than I thought possible. But why? Well, it's because I wasn't being smart. No, not intelligence-wise, but the acronym. In school, we were always taught to make SMART goals. Remember those? Anyone? No? Just me? No, okay then. SMART goals were specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. I found that I was being specific, pretty measurable, very relevant to what I wanted in the end, but I wasn't making it time-bound. And when I did, my original idea wasn't attainable anymore. I mean, 50 pages in 2 weeks just wasn't physically possible when I was only on page 13. So I had to reevaluate my goals. I had to prioritize which one I wanted more. And eventually, I decided that getting the comic out with less cushion would be better than not releasing the comic at all. So that's what I did. I stuck to my goal and released it on December 31st, which was cutting it a bit close for comfort, to be honest. After I prioritized time over comfort, things seemed to move more smoothly. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm a very schedule/goal-oriented person. If I don't have one, then I don't see the point in wasting my time on it. So when I figured out my priorities and I released it on time, I felt much better about the whole thing. But then came the tricky part for me. Rewarding myself. Sure, goals are great and all, but we're usually looking for the end result when we set them, not necessarily the journey. That's just a bonus. So you also have to reward yourself when you do accomplish those goals. If you don't, then you'll feel like all the work to get there just wasn't worth it. And it'll make it harder to accomplish goals you set later because you won't feel like you'll follow through with the reward at the end. I'm particularly bad at this, because when it comes to my comic, I'm a bit of a workaholic, which I found out actually burns comic artists out. So to combat this, I've given myself Fridays and Saturdays off. Kind of. I'm not drawing any of my comic on those days, but I can still draw the characters or topics for my Patreon if I so choose. It's just up to me and how I'm feeling that day. Not only this, but I also celebrate with a meal out, even if it's something small like McDonald's or Wendy's. I'm also a very food-driven person. Seriously, guys, hit me up if you want to buy me some food. Like, that's literally the fastest way to my heart. And don't base your reward off of success. The biggest thing you have to remember is that success doesn't happen overnight. It'll probably take a while to get the gears moving. I'm pretty proud of my numbers considering it's only been up for about a day or so now, but I know that they're also not the end numbers anyway, so that gives me hope for later success. Just know that everything will work out in the end if you stick to your properly made goals. If something doesn't work out after some time, try and reevaluate your goal to see if that can help. In the end, it's all a process and we're kind of stumbling through it blindly altogether as the human race anyway. So just be patient with yourself and know that you're not the only one who's struggling. If there's any solace in that idea, I'm glad to be struggling with you. And if you're one of the rare few doing well, then awesome! Keep up the good work. But be kind to each other and know you've got someone on your side. Just to finish the video off and tie a nice little bow around it, and this past year, thank goodness it's over, let me know if you guys had any ideas of future topics you'd like me to give my 2 cents on by leaving a comment down below. Please like and subscribe if you want to support the channel or check out my Patreon, and I'll see all you sweet beans and silly gooses, just bear with me guys, I'm trying something new, later. Bye! Mwah! And a special thanks to my first patron, Kale Chips. Thanks for joining and all the support. And to the rest of you sweethearts, thanks for watching.